Greetings, all. Thank you for joining us tonight for a very special presentation as we introduce a new and exciting partnership between Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and the Orly Smith Cancer Research Foundation. I am Brother Gerald Johnson, representing our general office this evening. I have the esteemed pleasure of welcoming the founder of the Orly Smith Cancer Research Foundation, Dr. Handia Nicole Green. Dr. Green, how are you this evening?
I'm well, Brother Johnson. How are you this evening?
I'm doing well, and I hope that I pronounced your first name correctly. I've been practicing it all day, and I'm sure that you probably looked at the camera and was like, he could have done it better than that after all of our conversations. But Dr. Green, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. And you are the consummate professional. So I don't think you've ever pronounced my first name before.
Yes,
but you were right there, Hadia. You were right there.
There we go. I did. Thank you so much, Dr. Green.
Thank you so much, Brother Johnson. I really appreciate you, Dr. Lanzer, the board of directors, Brother Creighton, and all of the effort behind the scenes to make this partnership launch. I'm truly grateful, truly excited. I'm super appreciative and very humbled for this opportunity to have you all support. This is the first national partnership, and I'm truly excited to be here with you this evening.
Dr. Green, we're excited to be here with you, and thank you for thinking of Alpha Phi Alpha in your fight. And speaking of Brother Creighton, I wanted to bring in Brother Creighton here, who's been also another essential piece to really moving this partnership forward. Brother Creighton, how are we doing this evening, brother?
We're good. How you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
I'll pass it back over to you. You wanted to kind of give us an introduction.
Absolutely, and hello everyone, and Dr. Green, of course. I am Marcus Creighton, Brother Creighton here in St. Louis, Missouri with the Epsilon Lambda chapter. I am a spring 1991 initiate into Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Theta Upsilon chapter at Arkansas State University. I just want to give a quick introduction and a little bit of backstory on how we got here to where we are today, because today is historic. Today, we are being introduced as the first national partner with Dr. Green and her foundation. Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity will be leading the way, spearheading to get her to the next phase of her amazing work that she's been doing. And a little bit of backstory on how we got here, why we're here, because today we're launching this partnership. And our goal is to make sure that the brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha know and understand what it is that we're doing, because it is going to take all of us to get her where she needs to be. And a little bit over 4 years ago, Brother Leon O'Hara here in St. Louis had a meeting with about 5 of us. He put a phone call out and said, hey, I want you guys to come down and meet somebody. And we sat in the conference room and he introduced us to Dr. Green and we listened to her story. And of course, it was an amazing story. But the presentation was brought to us as, would Alpha Phi Alpha be interested in partnering with her? And so my immediate thought was, all right, her story sounds great. How can we do this? But of course, I had questions. I mean, like most individuals, you're not going to put your name behind something if you're not sure about it. And so immediately I let him know, well, here's what we need to do. We need to call this person, and this person. And so not long after that meeting, I got an inbox in LinkedIn from Dr. Green. And she just basically said, hey, I heard you were helping out. I just want to thank you, et cetera, et cetera. And so to me, that was my opportunity to go, okay, I can get some questions answered. So I sent her a response and I said, more than my pleasure, but I have some questions. Here's my number. When you get a chance, please give me a call. And it wasn't even 5 minutes that my phone rang. And so that conversation lasted over 3 hours. And man, when I tell you, I grilled her, I asked her every possible thing I could think of, and she had answers, every one. She right on time. She had all the answers. She explained exactly what was going on, because I'm from Missouri and it is the show me state. And so immediately my face was, what you got? And she broke it down to me in a way that after our conversation, 2 things happened. 1, I was confident that she had what she said she had. And 2, I realized she's brilliant. She's smart to go through all this, to answer the way she did, to have all of her bases covered. You don't get there by not having all of this together. And so we immediately made 2 phone calls to our general counsel, Brother Wayne Harvey, and we had a nice little conversation. He kind of let me know, well, here's the way to do it. Here's what we need to do. The second phone call was to our regional vice president at the time, Brother Willis Lonzer. And luckily, he knew about her work already. So that made the conversation pretty easy. And so from there, after several conversations and meetings, we figured out a way with Brother Lonzer's help on how to get her in front of the board of directors, which they invited her to our Las Vegas General Convention. And she met with the board of directors and our general president, Brother Ward, at the time. And Brother Lonzer also made the motion to partner with her, which the board of directors voted unanimously at that general convention to support Dr. Green and her research foundation. And so after that, of course, our leadership changed. COVID happened. All of that happened, which has us here today. And as of yesterday, General President now, Brother Lonzer, he actually announced the brand new partnership and some of the things that are to come. Tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. And so we're here because not only is the Alpha bought in, but after several meetings with the Divine Nine presidents, all Divine Nine is backing her as well. So that's all incredible news. And so what we're going to do now is I want to turn it over to have her explain her why. My why is my father passed away from pancreatic cancer. And I've seen numerous friends and relatives over the last few years, young, we're talking 30s and 40s, that have been diagnosed with cancer. And if there is a solution that's out here, why wouldn't we do everything that we can to bring that additional solution to the table? Because to me, the life that I may save in my mind could be my own. So that's why I'm working so hard to make sure that we get her where she needs to be, so that if any of us have a loved one that is in need, we can have another solution to bring to the table. So I want to get Dr. Green on here to talk about her why she started this from the beginning, what she has, how it works, and all the good stuff. And then we'll come back with the plan of action.
Thank you, Brother Creighton. Thank you, Brother Johnson. And again, thank you all for this opportunity. I'm going to share my screen, if I can get this up, and go through the backstory. So this is a short video that's the best summary I have of my why, what we're doing, so that you all who are not familiar with my work can be interested. So if you'll give me your attention for this video, I'll share now.
This physicist developed a treatment for cancer using lasers and nanotechnology, with the goal of creating a treatment with fewer side effects. Hadia Nicole Green.
Dr. Hadia
Green, this is Dr. Hadia Nicole Green, the one and only.
Dr. Hadia Nicole Green is on a mission to seek out cancer and destroy it.
We can provide a local therapy just at the site of the tumor. It's like using a spotlight to highlight a whole room versus using a laser pointer in a specific location. After a single 10-minute treatment, there's approximately 100% tumor regression over the course of 10 to 15 days. Even though I didn't observe any side effects in mice, we still have to translate it properly to humans. I'm one of less than 100 African-American women with a PhD in physics in the United States. I'm working on developing a laser treatment for cancer using nanotechnology and biomedical optics. My aunt, who raised me from age 4, announced that she had what she called woman's cancer. And she said that she would rather die than experience the side effects of chemotherapy and radiation. And I took care of her the last 3 months of her life. 3 months after she passed, my uncle, who raised me, he was diagnosed with esophageal cancer. He went through chemo and radiation, and I took care of him while he was going through his treatments. And I got to see with both of them firsthand the horrors of cancer and the horrors of cancer care. And it was so devastating that it fell on my heart that there has to be a better way.
So Dr. Green has 3 degrees in physics. Dr. Green is a superstar. Dr. Green, she just got an amazing $1 million grant for the work she's doing. She's already proving it with mice, and she's going to move on to human trials.
For the loved ones we've all lost, for the families that we can still save, let's make America the country that cures cancer once and for all.
So thank you for your attention during that video. I remember the first time I met with Brother Johnson, I started off in the middle of the conversation, I think with this slide. And when he told me he wasn't familiar, I was like, oh, let me show you this video. And he laughed and said, always start with that video. You should start there. And so in the spirit of teamwork and collaboration, you guys have insight and ideas that I may not have. And that's part of the partnership, is to bring your expertise, your network, your ideas, your marketing, your strategies to help us move this forward. The Aura Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation is a passion project. It's a lifetime commitment. It's a divine assignment for me, named after my late aunt, who was the only mom I knew who lost her battle to cancer. Our goal is to raise the funding we need for the cancer-killing technology I developed to ensure that it will have low costs and be affordable for all who need it. Independent of investors, independent of the pharmaceutical industry, that's part of our strategy to keep it affordable and accessible. There are other cancer charities that raise over $1 billion a year in the name of hope for a cure one day, maybe, in the name of raising awareness, which is important because early detection saves lives. But we've gone a few steps beyond hope. I've already developed the technology. I'll show you guys that in a moment. And we need your help, your partnership, your support to ensure that this technology can move from the laboratory into the living. My why is personal. And every time I do something, I honor Aura Lee Smith, who was my legal guardian, my aunt, but she was the big mama in our family, the cooker of Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner, and she raised me from age 4. When she said that she would rather die than experience the side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, what she was saying was that she wanted to die on her terms, at home with her family, with her dignity and her hair. And these are choices that may seem trivial to some people, but if you guys have a big mama, a grandmama, the glue to held the family together, she was born in 1932. Her value system was different. And she didn't get diagnosed until stage 4 of her cancer. And most people in the African-American community don't get diagnosed until stage 4. We don't go to the doctors. So African-Americans are more likely to die from cancer than any other race. We have the worst outcomes, the worst symptoms, more aggressive cancers than everybody else. So having scientists that take those things into consideration matters. So I had my aunt and my uncle in mind when I was designing this cancer treatment. For those of us who get to the doctor and they're already saying there's nothing else we can do, and chemo and radiation and changing your diet at that point won't help. Because of that, there are nearly 9 million people a year who are dying from cancer around the world. I am not competing with the pharmaceutical industry. For those millions of people they save, they can still save those people. My target is for the 9 million people that modern technology and current medicine cannot save. That's who we need to help. Our big mamas, our big papas, our granddads, our grandmoms, our aunts, our uncles, our moms and dads, our sisters and brothers, our cousins, our kinfolks, our sorority sisters, our fraternity brothers, those members in our community who are reaching out to us now when they don't have anywhere else to go. And your support will help empower us to conduct human clinical trials. So our mission is to change the way cancer is treated, to change how cancer charities are treated. If we can have a Susan G., why can't we have an Aura Lee? And the money that's donated is not going to overhead or salaries, it's going to the cause to fund human clinical trials and ensure this technology will be affordable and accessible. We're changing the way the disease is treated, the way cancer patients are treated with dignity and as humans. We are changing the way cancer charities are treated. And we're also on a mission to reduce human suffering. And that's a profound statement, to reduce human suffering. And we're doing this by providing cancer care that is accessible, affordable, and effective. I've already taken care of the effective part, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. But to provide a treatment that is accessible and affordable is what your partnership will help us do. So what is this technology? A lot of people have seen on social media that I'm the Black woman or the first Black woman to cure cancer using lasers or cure cancer with nanoparticles. And I personally never use the word cure. As a scientific professional in the medical community, it's a layman's term. So let me tell you what is actually happening. What is the proof in the pudding? What did I actually do? I developed a cancer killing technology that is categorized as a medical device. Think of very, very, very localized radiation that's as accurate as a laser pointer, right? So the technology is using laser activated nanoparticles. And for those of you guys who are not scientists, I developed a way to zap cancer at the site of the tumor without harming the healthy cells around it. So let me show you guys, this is really exciting. So this is a mouse with the tumor. That's a human tumor in a laboratory mouse. And this tumor is the size that the National Cancer Institute requires for all cancer research, whether it's a drug or a medical device. So this tumor is just before my treatment. And I exposed this tumor to one 10-minute treatment with my technology. And then I just take pictures. So let me show you. So this is after one single 10-minute treatment. And then on day 3, day 6, you can see the tumor is already being diminished. So day 9, come over to day 11, day 13, day 15. This is before and after. So you can see here, the tumor is gone. In technical terms, I've demonstrated complete tumor regression. In layman's terms, people will look at this and say, I cured cancer. The fact is, the pathologist confirmed that under this scar, there is no viable cancer left. So zip, zap, zam is gone. After one 10-minute treatment in just 15 days with no surgery, no radiation, no chemo, and no observable side effects. This is not a cure-all. This was designed for solid tumors like breast, prostate, colorectal, and brain cancers, solid tumors. We already have clinical partners. My day job is at Morehouse School of Medicine in the Department of Surgery. I'm a professor, technically an assistant professor. It's just the ranking thing for those who are not in academia. I'm a principal investigator on a grant from the Department of Veteran Affairs, which makes me a research scientist for the Department of Veteran Affairs. So my day job has perks. Some of those perks include having clinical partners who are ready to conduct human clinical trials. And this second VA grant that I received is actually going to fund a small pilot study with 10 veterans with skin cancer. But I don't know anybody with skin cancer. And in our communities, the types of cancer that is impacting our community the most happens not to be skin cancer. So the money that we raise through this partnership will help us fund human trials for the types of cancer that impact our community and help us expedite the human clinical trial process. We are still in the process of raising money to fund human clinical trials and reaching our first fundraising goal of $10 million. For Giving Tuesday, for the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Partnership, we put out a $100,000 fundraising ask. And I know Brother Creighton and Brother Johnson will go through that in a moment. But while I have this tumor up, where it's like, honey, I shrank the tumor, I need you guys to see this is where your donations are going. So when we ask for $100,000, that's literally $10 a month, $100 from 10,000 brothers. It's not a big ask for you guys. And I know because you guys have put a king among presidents with building the monument to Dr. Martin Luther King and the memorial in Washington. So doing this kind of fundraising for the alphas, this is small things for giant. So having you guys support this makes it so that we can start doing human trials instead of this technology sitting in the lab collecting dust right now. You can literally be the wind beneath our wings to help us move this into human trials. So this is what people are talking about when they said, I've cured cancer. This technology is killing human cancer in laboratory mice after a 10-minute treatment over the course of 15 days with no chemo, no surgery, no radiation, and no observed side effects. Your donations will help directly move this into and expedite clinical trials so that we can get covered by the insurance. Well, let me back up. So that we can get approved by the FDA, adopted by the American Medical Association, and covered by the insurance companies Medicaid and Medicare. This is all part of the overall strategy for ensuring this technology remains accessible and affordable for all. The global big picture is I want to take this and build the adult version of St. Jude. Your support can help us do that. And I can't wait for that sign in the air one day, like McDonald's used to have the sign that says a million burgers served. I want us to be able to collectively say 1 million lives saved with this technology, with your support. So my background, for those of you guys who do not know, you saw in the video, I have 3 degrees in physics, but I'm one of the first African-American women to earn a PhD in physics. As I mentioned, I'm a professor in Morehouse School of Medicine in the Department of Surgery and in the Department of Veteran Affairs. I've received now 2 grants from the VA. My scientific expertise is in developing targeted cancer therapies. Ebony and Root magazine has named me as one of the 100 most influential African Americans in the United States, and USA Today has named me as one of the 100 most inspiring women of the last 100 years, along with Rosa Parks, Eleanor Roosevelt, and the founder of the Girl Scouts. We have had a lot of news coverage, and I'll shout out Roland Martin, your fraternity brother. My interview with Roland Martin, when he posted it on his Facebook page, it has had more than 14 million views. If I had $1 from everyone who saw that interview, we would have had the $10 million that we need to get started with human trials. So please don't underestimate how much $1 can do. There is no amount that's too small or too large. So I can come back to this slide when Brother Creighton talks about the actual breakdown of the partnership on the international level for awareness, the regional and district level for ambassadors, and the chapters for fundraising, and some of our milestones. Just want to thank Dr. Ward welcoming us, and the board of directors at the time at the regional convention in Las Vegas for formally making the vote. I also want to thank President Lanza now for being the president under his leadership for signing the MOU and actually doing the partnership launch. I'm extremely proud and excited of this partnership launch. Didn't realize this was in here twice. We have the ways to donate that's also will rotate on the screen, and some of the flyers that have just recently been approved. And you should have received some of this in an email with some of the collateral for putting on the website, different flyers for social media. The Giving Tuesday email went out, thanks to Brother Johnson. So you guys have these things with the fundraising kit already. You guys already have that. We have some milestones. I also want to remember and acknowledge my cousin and the founding vice president of the Aura Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation, James McFadden, who was with me every step of the way in getting the partnership launch. I also want to acknowledge all of the regional VPs who have hosted prostate cancer awareness events with us over the years and have had different discussions for Men's Health Awareness Month. So I just really want to say thank you to each of the regional vice presidents and welcome the connection, because most of the regional VPs who started the partnership have rotated out of office. So I'm really looking forward to next steps with you all from here. So I will stop sharing my screen and come back to the conversation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Green, for leading us in that presentation. I'm sure as I was looking at the comments, trying to keep up with everyone, I see our brothers are not only excited about this partnership, but are eager to march alongside you as you in this fight. More so than anything, I do want to open it up for any questions for Dr. Green and her team at this time. But I think the first question, as we wait, maybe we can bring up that slide again, is how can brothers support? I see we have at the bottom auralead.org/alpha, or by texting aura6 to 7177. This is important for us, as tomorrow we'll be supporting the Orla Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation during our Giving Tuesday efforts. So we'll give everyone just a second to see if there's any questions there. Thank you so much, Dr. Green. Perfect.
I actually didn't even remember, but we have the websites for each region as well that will all funnel under orally.org/alpha. So you can donate under your region, orally.org/alpha ER or /alpha MWR/alpha SR. You guys follow the trend. So you can get directly to your regional page and donate so your region can get the credit, and it will roll up to the total for orally.org/alpha. Oh, let me also mention that you can support us when you shop on Amazon. You shop and Amazon will donate. All you have to do is under your settings, select the charity, under gifts and charities, and type in the Orla Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation, and we'll pop up when you search us. And you can select us, and then all of your purchases will support all of your eligible purchases will support us.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Green, for sharing that information.
And brothers, that's part of the rollout that we are about to announce. What you see at the bottom are the regions that she has, but we will also be able to set up districts, and that will fall up under the regional totals as well. We're about to do a major blitz, so we're going to put together competitions between chapters, districts, regions. We're going to make it fun. But as you see there, when you go to the page, you can see how to set up a chapter page as well. If you set up a chapter page, you will get your own number for that chapter. Those chapter totals will then go under your district and then the region as well. On the Amazon thing, you have to put smile.amazon.com, and then you can select her as well. That is a very easy way that we all shop. We get packages dropped off out front that we forgot we even ordered, but that is a very simple way that every last one of us on here can just go to our Amazon account, our Prime account, go to smile.amazon.com. Everything stays the same. And then you just pick her foundation, that every time you make a purchase, Amazon automatically makes a donation to her foundation as well. Very simple things. And so right now we have 3 plans of action, so to say. The first one is to donate. Tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. Figure out a way to, even like she said, a dollar matters. 15 million views, $1 per view. We would be there right now. But whatever you can give tomorrow on Giving Tuesday, please do. The second thing, and there are several ways on here, as you see, on how we can donate. But we are only individuals and we can only do so much, right? So the second goal that we have is share. Every time you see somebody, share her story, share the information. This afternoon, I went to the cell phone store and picked up a new cell phone. And before I walked out, every last person in that store was circled around me with my phone, showing them her website, showing them how to pull up orally.org, telling them to let her do the explanation on what she has, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And before I walked out, at least 5 individuals had already taken a picture off my phone and done that. So that's how we get there. It's
Thank
not
you.
just each one of us doing all of it on our own, but it's getting out there and speaking to as many people as we can. I share her story at the airport. I share it on airplanes, wherever I can catch people, because every last person we bump into has a story they can tell about cancer. So we're going to have to get the word out, share it. But what's going to come out soon, and Brother Johnson is the most organized brother I think I've met in my 32 years in Alpha. He is on it. He
Yeah.
has spreadsheets that pop up as soon as you speak spreadsheet. All of a sudden, you got a spreadsheet showing up. But that when our meetings, he is the most organized. That's who is going to maintain that part of the partnership. We're going to look to him to keep us organized. But at the same time, we are about to come out with a complete plan for the fraternity as well. We wanted to make sure that we introduce Dr. Green so that you all know who she is, what she's doing, why we're partnering. That gives us now a little bit of education piece. We're not done. That will continue. But on the back end, the plan of action coming from the fraternity to the brothers, it will be announced. These are just a couple of little steps. Brother Johnson?
Oh, Brother Creighton, thank you so much for providing that great overview. Brothers, friends, family members that are all watching tonight and seeing the work that we're looking to do, the information is on the screen. Please screenshot it. Tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. Your gift is your voice, right? And as Brother Creighton and Dr. Green mentioned, at least give something, anything. Every gift counts in this case. And so with that, I don't see very many questions. I think Dr. Green, you left an audience of alpha men without questions, which means that you really were very thorough with your presentation. As Brother Creighton mentioned at the very beginning, you were very thorough with your answers and how you are presenting this fight. And so I would love to leave you with the last words as we sign off this evening.
So thank you for that. I'll stop sharing and come back to the conversation. Okay, thank you. So, oh yes, I forgot to mention that if you sign up to do a recurring gift on Facebook tomorrow, they will match your gift up to $100. You can do it now on Facebook, and they will match up to $100 per person per organization. So thank you to the volunteers for reminding me of that. I also want to acknowledge one of the alpha men who went to Alabama A&M University with me in undergrad, and just shout out Delta Gamma, the Delta Gamma chapter at Alabama A&M. I have to make sure I take care of home, and shout out Marlon Turner, and thank you for being an ambassador for the Orly Foundation. We appreciate you, Marlon. And we look forward to a line gift and a chapter gift from Delta Gamma, spring 2001. And let me just, I'm looking at the comments. Let me also mention that we do have employee matching programs with a few dozen companies, from Boeing to Microsoft and quite a few others. I probably shouldn't have started calling names, but we do have employee matching programs. So if you are giving through an employee match, make sure that you put Alpha Phi Alpha in the memo. If you give by Cash App or Venmo, make sure that you include Alpha in the memo. If you mail a check, make sure you include in the memo so we'll know how to attribute your gift. So with my whole heart, this is something that I do, not because I can bring back my loved ones. I can't. As much Black girl magic as I have, it's not enough to bring back my loved ones. I do this, like Marcus said, we don't know that the life that we are saving, it could be our own. It might be yours. It might be mine. I don't wish cancer on anyone. What I do know is what we do today can impact what is our reality for tomorrow. The most heartbreaking part about what I do is seeing cancer patients reach out to me, pleading, and begging to be a guinea pig in a human trial we haven't raised enough money to fund. It breaks my heart because there have been millionaires who have walked away from donating because they couldn't invest. I have turned down $100 million investment because I know the value of this is so much greater. There are brothers and sisters all over the planet who do not have access to affordable health care, who do not have access to an effective cancer treatment. The global numbers are high today, but we are in a unique position to do something about it. Having your support, your dollars, your championship, you being an ambassador, you making videos, you helping us spread the word, following us at Dr. Hadia Green, at Orally.org on social media, helping us get our numbers up, helping us with corporate sponsorships. All of that makes a difference. All of that helps us say yes to these cancer patients who don't have any other treatment options, who are being sent home every day after they've been told there's nothing else we can do. If nobody ever has to hear that again, it won't. That's my prayer. And I know people sometimes get weird about bringing spirituality in business, but I want you guys to see my heart. This is not something that I'm doing for the money. If it were, I would have been sold out. But having you guys stand with me keeps this from being vulnerable, keeps us independent, keeps us in a position where you are the hero, you are the champion. This is not about me. If this was something that I could have done all by myself, I would have done it 10 years ago. It's humbling, but I need help. If I had the marketing degrees, if I had the fundraising expertise, this could have been done, but I don't. All of my degrees are in physics. My expertise is in developing technology that kills cancer. Where you guys come in will make the difference. I'm going to stay the course. That's not a question. I'm not going to sell out. That's not a question. How long it will take us to do this depends on how much urgency you guys put behind your support. How long it takes you guys to hear me when I say I need help. How long it takes for you guys to put the dollars to the table to say, I stand with you, with your financial support, with my network, with my connections. I'll send the text message, I'll forward the emails, I'll make a video for social media, I'll share the videos already on social media, I'll shop on Amazon and support you, I'll donate my birthday on Facebook, and take the steps to make this a meaningful partnership. Take the steps to help us not be the next hidden figure. Take the steps to put this out in the forefront. And it literally is something that 100,000 people donating $100 each could get us to our $10 million. We're not at zero, so I do want to thank and acknowledge everyone who has donated already to get us to the $2.5 million that we've raised so far. Getting to $10 million is not a huge ask. 100,000 people donating $100 gets us to 10 million. I don't want the strings attached to investors. I don't want the strings attached to the pharmaceutical industry. I have no interest in selling out. Like I mentioned, my goal is to build the adult version of St. Jude. Having you guys with me along this journey is historic. Being a trailblazer, being a pioneer is not easy. But if you could have walked with Dr. King across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, if you could have funded Charles Drew, if you could have been there in those historic moments to help George Washington Carver, right? Like, we're building something that has not been built before, based on technology, not just on hopes, not just on my words, not just on my dreams, but based on scientific data that has been peer-reviewed, published in scientific journals. It has been vetted by the Department of Veteran Affairs, Morehouse School of Medicine, my dissertation committee at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Like, this is historic. And I hope you guys understand that having your name on the roster of people who supported this, you will be part of history with us. You will forever have this as part of your legacy. So again, I want to thank General President Lanza for not just signing the MOU and being the first national organization to do so, but from the time he first met me, he had already vetted my science. He had already read about my research. And for him as a fellow scientist to vouch for the veracity of my research was so affirming, especially when people see me and the color of my skin and greet me with skepticism and say, there's no way you could have done that. But instead, Dr. Lanza saw me and the color of my skin and my gender and my science and spoke to my science when he made the motion at the General Convention in 2019 to establish a national partnership with us. As a scientist, that matters. As the national leader now, that matters. And I am so proud to have him as a scientist be the first to support us. And I know that when people are asking, well, why haven't other people supported this? Sometimes people don't have the scientific background to vet what I'm saying, but Dr. Lanza did. And not only did he vet it, he adopted us, and he's championing this cause and bringing the whole entire organization on board. So I just want to say again, thank you, Dr. Lanza, for taking the time to vet the science and to adopt the Ora Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation. I am so proud and honored to have Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated be the first national organization to partner with the Ora Lee Smith Cancer Research Foundation. This partnership launch, yes, Giving Tuesday is tomorrow, but this partnership launch is historic. And I may get a little emotional, but I just really appreciate that. I appreciate Brother Gerald Johnson for pulling all of this together, and Brother Marcus Creighton for being the official national liaison between Alpha and Ora Lee. And I thank each of you guys for your time, your support, your partnerships, your donation. Each chapter, each region, each district, each leader, thank you. To my team, Team Ora Lee, thank you so much for everything that you are doing. I really appreciate all of our donors who have already supported. You guys are just as much making history as I am. You may not know what a nanoparticle is. You may not set foot in the lab. You may not have ever seen a cancer cell under a microscope, but your financial contribution, your support, and your championship makes you just as essential to making this mission successful as everything that I did in the lab. Without your support, everything that I did in the lab stays on the shelf and it can't help people. You are the difference in life and death for people who do not have other treatment options and are waiting and need the technology that I developed. So with that, I always get emotional, but thank you so much to each of you for taking this time to tune in, to everyone who watches the playback. God bless you. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to working with you.
Everyone take care. Thank you all so much.